I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica.
And this is the episode where we step into love,
Oh,
guys.
fall into love, one might
say. To rip into...
Tumble into love.
Oh my goodness. Are we poets? I cannot tell.
Oh, we just have a way with words, I guess.
Yes, it's so good. So do these characters because... And these movies, period, because that's what romance is mostly about. Words.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about romantic movies.
Yes. This is kind of a part of our series, isn't it? Where we try to come up with a cohesive list of best type of movies of all time, right?
It is. Kind of. It would have been kind of, because we did a ranking of like best animated.
Animated was like the most like objective one that we did, and then we kind of gave up on that. But we have a little series going on where we did best animated movies. We did, I think we did best
family movies.
That's all the ones that we did.
Comedies. Did we do comedies?
Oh, we did do comedies too. So now, of course, we had to do most romantic movies of all time.
Yes.
Which is what we're doing today. So as you know from our previous iterations of this, besides the animation one, that was a little too analytical. But we kind of just discuss our favorite movies within a specific genre. And usually we divide it into different categories. Because we all know that, it's kind of hard to just come up with like general, especially with romance movies. There's so many different types of romance movies.
It's very different.
So yeah. And also something I wanted to mention too, like a lot of romance movies, or like, I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of movies that have a romances in them are not necessarily romance movies, and vice versa. Like there are some non-romance movies that have good romances in them.
Oh yeah.
Like I was looking at like to prepare for this episode, I was looking at like lists of romantic movies, and someone put Slumdog Millionaire as a romantic movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that a lot actually.
I was like, that's not like, just because a movie has a romance in it doesn't make it a romance movie. It's not a romance movie. It's not about.
Well, to be fair, the list I was looking at was like best movie couples, so that was allowed.
Oh like, no, I was looking at best romance movies, and it was one of them. I was like, no, because a romance movie, in my opinion, is like where the point of the movie is the romance.
Is
like
the romantic
the story
surrounds
the story surrounds the relationship between two characters, essentially,
or
like at least mostly. Like I know some of the ones I have on this list, you can debate that, but like also where like the couple is like a big part of the story.
Yeah,
and
it's like a character driven about the two couples. Yeah,
it's usually about a couple getting together. That's basically like what the essence of a romance movie is.
That is a romance. And did you know, technically, at least in the book world, a romance is qualified by two people ending up together. Did you know that?
Really? So if they don't end up together, it's not considered a romance novel?
Technically, it's not. So like, for example, La La Land would not be considered a romance if it was like a book. For sure, it would not be.
I see. Is
but
it just like
as a movie, I think
type of thing where like it can't be
because it's like
a romance movie.
Basically, it's like for the reader, that's like insulting.
I guess, I don't think I've ever read a romance book where they didn't end up together. Now that I think about it,
because technically that would be like a drama. Like like basically people who pick up romance books, just like the way the industry works, is they are looking for a good time. Like they're not looking to get upset and like cry. So if you were to do that, and then like people would be surprised, like they would invest in a book and then find out that like the people don't end up together, they'd get pissed.
I feel like that's kind of maybe not the same way, but I feel like that's kind of similar for movies too, though, because I can't think of any romance movies where it's like that's what it is, where they don't end up together unless like one of them dies or something.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking of, because there are a few that I would where people die that I know people would categorize as romance. I feel like a lot of people would categorize La La Land as a romance, and they don't end up together.
I don't know. Maybe I think of it more of like a musical type of thing.
Yeah, but people would probably say musical and then romance.
Interesting. I never thought about that, actually.
Yeah, I didn't. Or One Day, I don't know if you've seen that one, but let's just say it ends tragically.
Oh, the one with Anne Hathaway?
Yes, and the whole movie is about them getting together, and then tragedy strikes. So,
but like, does one of them die?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I feel like dying doesn't count as not ending up together, I think. Because
I get what you're saying.
It's a tragedy, right? Like that's basically what
I agree with you.
But like in terms of they don't end up together, like they realize they're not right for each other or whatever reason.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Kind of like with La La Land.
That is different.
Where they're like,
I would say
you know what? Maybe we
different,
shouldn't be together. That's like, I feel like I wouldn't watch that and consider that a romance movie.
No. Or like, what's that movie? It's called the one with where he's like, he has a thing with the mom and the daughter.
What?
Damn it.
Oh, American Beauty?
Is that what? No, I don't think that's what it's called. But I know what you're. It's called like the teacher or like the professor. Like it's like really.
I never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't.
I was gonna say Lolita, but that's not it.
The Graduate. That's what it's called. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I've never heard of that.
The Graduate. I haven't seen it either, but I just know like the premise. And basically, the movie ends with like him running off with the daughter. But like,
I guess it shows he ends up with somebody. So
he ends up, but it shows them in the car, like looking like sad already, like they regret their idea, but they don't like elaborate on it. Like it just zooms in on their faces, and they're kind of like the face of like, do I really like this guy? Like that's the face that they were making. But a lot of people consider that a rom-com, which I'm like, huh?
That's weird.
I know.
No,
that's really weird. Movie. Yeah, but I'm just saying people. Categorization just goes all over the place.
Yeah.
But
so the point is, we are mostly just discussing romance movies, of course.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but typically the ones that I, consider my favorites are the ones where they end up together. I'm not a fan of tragedy.
Yes.
Especially like people who like love The Notebook. I'm like, why? Like I don't like being sad. I don't like it when people die at the end.
The Notebook to me though isn't sad. I don't know. Is that weird?
Because no, for me, it's not that sad because it's like they're old.
Y'all are hella old. Yeah, like it's
you
like
spent your whole life together.
Like
you're fine.
honestly, it's kind of happy. I was like, you died in each other's arms. I feel like that's a good way to go.
There's a couple other ones where like when one of the person dies, no, I can't.
Yes, that's really like tragic.
F you. Like, have you ever watched the movie Remember Me? With
Oh no, but you've told me about it. You used to be obsessed with that movie.
I wasn't obsessed with it. I hated that movie.
Oh, but you talked about it all the time. That's what I'll say.
It's a fine little romance movie, and then at the end, spoiler. I'm gonna spoil it because you shouldn't even watch it to begin with. It's a freaking terrible movie. Like it's like a romance movie at first. Yep. Everything's fine. It's like about this guy who has kind of like a dysfunctional relationship with his dad, and he meets this girl, and blah blah blah. The last minute of the movie, like the last scene, it's freaking 9/11, and the dude dies in the World Trade Center. What?
Yeah.
What?
No, you're literally describing one day. That's what happened. Like one day is literally they follow these two best friends. They meet each other because they have the same birthday. They always meet each other on the same birthday, whatever year. And there's a bunch of like stuff that happens. You see them throughout the years. They finally get together. They're trying to have a baby. And like she got Anne Hathaway's character. She got kind of like mad that she wasn't able to get pregnant. She got upset, and then she was like, after work, she was like, you know what? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't wait to come home and try again with you. Like, whatever. Very sweet. While he's listening to her voicemail of her talking about how she's so excited, she gets hit by a truck.
She gets hit by a truck, or he gets hit by a truck?
She gets hit by a truck.
What?
So he's listening to her voicemail about like, being sweet and I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And she's on the ground.
I hate that shit so much.
I hate that stuff.
Like,
it's literally
why?
The last 5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, why would you do
at that
this?
point, I feel like you're just trying to make people sad just for fun. Like, that's not, it's not creative. It's not cute.
Or it's like shock factor. Like, ew.
Yeah. Or like, if you're looking at something like The Fault in Our Stars, for example, where like the character literally the characters have cancer, and it's like, one of them dies because of cancer. Like, that is like, okay, it happens. But like when a character just randomly tragically dies at the end, it's like, you know what? Stop.
Like, no.
That's like a big thing in books now too, where it's like people love books that just like will make them cry at the end and stuff like that. And I'm like,
I'm just not into. I don't. That's not. This is my problem with it. I don't care if you like that stuff. Like, sure. Like, I guess there's an audience for that. I just don't like when people claim that it's critically better or like literally structurally better because it has a shocking ending. I'm like, no, that's stupid. Like, I could write that a dragon comes in at the end and that's a shocking ending. Does that make sense though?
Yeah, like people think that because it's sad it has to be better, and that goes for anything in general. I feel like a lot of like movies, TV, well, not TV really, but movies and books and stuff like that, like people think if it's like super depressing it's just automatically better than a book that's like just super like happy, which is not true. I'm like, you need to earn your depression, if you ask me. Like, I need to be,
like, don't give me happy and then give me depression at the end. I need like some build up. Like, I know something's happening, like tension.
It can be sad, but it has to make sense,
right?
Anyways,
like, it's so dumb. Anyways, we went on a long tangent.
I think it's time we start going through our categories. So I think the way we usually do it is we kind of make it a little bit like an award show type of thing, or like a what is it called? Superlatives.
Superlatives. Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Superlatives thing where it's like best this or best that or most this. Yes. So that's kind of how we go with our thing. So that's what we're gonna do today as well. So I think we can just get right into it. I think we can start with what we think is the funniest romance movie.
Oh, interesting.
Is that a good place to start?
All right.
We can start
I think it is.
So
because our favorite, I shouldn't say my favorite.
Yeah, we each picked our own favorites for each one. So that's how it's going to work.
But my favorite category of romance subcategory is rom-com. Spoiler alert. So this was hard, but
it was hard. But
it wasn't at the same
time.
Like
I like rom-coms because there's a couple of rom-coms that I know of where I'm not like laughing out loud. It's kind of just like a little chuckle type of thing. But like the one that I picked is one where I literally laugh out loud because it's so funny.
No, there's some where it's just like this is a laugh, okay? And I have an honorable mention for this one.
Okay, you can
go with my first one, which is The Proposal.
That's a good option. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, The Proposal.
It's really funny.
It's funny. Ridiculous stuff happens, and I'm still into it. Like
I love ridiculous humor, so that's like my type of humor.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I feel like there's so much. Sandra B she just killed it. Like I like the straw man thing where like someone's really serious, but then like a bunch of stupid stuff happens to them, so they're like exactly. So that was really good, really really good. My honorable mention, and I think the reason I didn't make this list,
my pick, but yeah, go ahead.
I hope not. Probably, I don't know.
It might be, but go ahead.
Really, my honorable mention is She's the Man.
Okay. I figured.
Okay.
It's not mine
because I was like, I don't know if I consider it 100% a rom-com.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like for me it's more of a teen comedy movie. I don't really consider it that
so it's kind of hard for me to say that, but technically that is like the funniest. Like to me, that one I actually laugh out loud every time I rewatch it. So
I watched it the other day.
That's why I had to say it
because it's on Netflix now.
Yeah, it was on Netflix now. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, that one for me, like I prefer the story honestly. Like I know the romance is part of it, but like it's not like the type of thing where I'm like super like I'm like, oh, I need the main characters to get together. It's more just like funny.
No,
like,
it's not even about that.
What's gonna happen when her identity is revealed, kind of thing. So
for sure,
I think
the whole movie, it's like it is more a sub. Like the com is more emphasized than the rom.
Yeah,
for sure. That's why I couldn't put it as like the funniest.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good options. I like those. So the one that I picked is just I had to pick this one, even though there probably are some other ones I find funny, but it's because I just every time I watch this one, I'm like dying of laughter. And it's Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So love especially the last, like not the last scene. It's like the scene at the end when everything kind of unravels.
When they're fighting. Yeah. The twist. Hilarious.
I love that scene so much. And like
that one has so many memes.
Yeah, it's not just like one couple. Obviously, the whole point is like it's this whole like family intertwined.
Yeah.
With like romance and stuff like that. And I just think that whole scene like just makes the whole movie. Like it's so funny and like it's an interesting concept. Like it's funny to watch a dude who's like in his 40s try to like take advice from this like suave, womanizer dude,
playboy.
Yeah. And then the whole like mess that happens with the babysitter and it's just
I love how every time Ryan Gosling slaps Steve Carell's face, it's just like come on, boom.
So that's the one that I picked for funniest one that I can think of where I really think it's like it's romance, like and the romance part of it is like funny, like the comedy comes from the romance. That's kind of why I liked it. Where it's like what you're saying. The romance stuff is like it's so messed up that it's funny, like kind of thing. So.
Yeah. That spoiler alert, that movie is on my list, but just not for the same category.
Ooh, I'm curious which one it's gonna be on.
We shall see.
Okay, so what do you think is a good next category?
I think we should go, because I mentioned teens, so I think we should go to best teen romance.
So I kind of meant this one. I realized I probably could have spelled it better on our little document, but I meant it as like best teen romance movie, but it can also just be like best teen romance couple as well.
Yeah.
Like we said, romance.
It's okay. I picked the best teen romance movie. That's what I picked. So it's
romance movies technically usually involve around one couple. So you're kind of basically saying that it's a good couple. Because why would you say, "Oh, I don't like the couple, but I like the movie"? It's like, well, the couple is
that
the
happens
movie.
very rarely. Yeah, that would be very hard. Yeah. They could not be the best couple, but they definitely you can't be like, I don't like this couple, but I like the movie.
Yeah.
If it's about the couple, that's weird to me.
Exactly. Okay.
But
should I go first for this one? I feel like either we might have the same pick or we might totally be off.
Could. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well, I picked, it's super basic, but I just have to pick this one. I picked To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Okay, so we're on the same
the
page,
first one,
of course.
not the other two.
Yes,
ignore the other two.
No, obviously,
the first
one's iconic.
The
Come
first
on,
one,
guys.
I think, rewrote the teen romance rom-com
literally
genre. Like, we were in like a drought, I feel like, with teen rom-coms. Like, obviously there was a huge peak in like the early 2000s with Amanda Bynes and et cetera, but this one really revived the genre. Like, you can't lie. Like, it really revived the genre. Like,
I'm sorry.
This movie walked so that, like, Kissing Booth and, like, The Perfect Date, all these trash movies, Tall Girl could even see a glimpse
exist.
Of Netflix.
Even breathe, okay? So, it's just like...
Exactly. And, like, this movie wasn't even made by Netflix. Like, it was... Netflix picked it up. So, like...
Picked it up later.
Yeah, because, like crazy. I said, people weren't... Like, teen rom-coms were not really popping, you know? So...
They weren't popping. No, like, this cultural reset, like, y'all don't understand this.
It was really like, I think it just birthed the new era of teen rom-coms.
And I'm sorry, this is gonna be controversial to say, I think it's better than like half of the old ones.
Me
like
too.
Old teen,
me too.
Literally like
if you're looking
put 16 candles in the trash, like come on, ugh.
Like, this all the old teen rom-coms always had something wrong with them. Like, there was always something that you could be like, but this wasn't good, or like this wasn't.
Like, I wasn't even cheering for the couples half of the times.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Like, I was like,
and like I said, the ones in the early 2000s were more so kind of like teen comedies rather than romance type of thing. Like, I guess like someone also, I thought maybe you were gonna say 10 Things I Hate About You, which is like true,
some people would say that,
but it's not one of my favorites.
But that was like late
like,
90s.
I like it, but it's still not. I don't think as like iconic as
like trust me, I'm actually a big fan of 10 Things I Hate About You. She's all that like I do really like the 90s era. However, like those are guilty pleasures. To All the Boys is not a guilty pleasure to me.
Like, I think it's objectively a good movie.
Like,
exactly.
Yes, like don't talk to me if you don't agree.
Yeah, because it's like it's just it's first of all something that I think is really needs to be highlighted. I freaking love the cinematography in this movie. I think it's really good. Like, it actually makes it seem like you like it seems like they took it seriously. You know what I mean? Like, with old teen rom-coms, they're just like throwing in all these pop songs and like punk rock songs, and like it's just so like basic with the like this one actually tried to make it like a really enjoyable movie to watch, in my opinion.
I agree.
And the characters are good. You know, we have diversity. We have you know, it's just I think it's just good. I think
Lana
in terms of teen
Condor
rom-com,
like
this
killed
is the blueprint.
it. Yes, like. If I could make or even be part of any movie that was like close to All the Boys I've Loved Before, I would die happy. Like, I'd be like, I made history.
Yeah, exactly.
History.
So
it was amazing.
Yeah, I think in terms of like teen rom-com or teen not rom-com, I forgot we're talking about romance movies. Teen romance movies, and it has like the fake dating in it, like, and it's not cringy. Like, there's not too many. Like, it's not like. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes teen rom-coms nowadays, especially, like, you can tell somebody was like, okay, we have to write this and make it seem like it's teenagers talking. But this one, like, it didn't seem too forced in that sense. Like, and it was like just throw in a bunch of like cultural references. And stuff like that. And
the premise was interesting. I feel like that's what really was missing in a lot of other places. Like, it's like this is kind of it is a little movie magic, but it's also like something that could happen. Like, if somebody were to write, you know, all these things and like it gets out, and like that is I prefer, like I've told you this, I don't like crazy, especially when it comes to like contemporary like teen things. I don't like convoluted crazy plots. Like I'm like, normal little things can happen to teenagers
and it's like
to make them freak out. Exactly. Bruh, I like once my hair got knotted in the shower and I had to cut it, and I was like, I cannot live anymore. Like that's like normal things, and I was freaking out.
Like, when you're a teenager,
so
stuff like that is like the biggest deal in the world, and that's kind of how
for sure works. So I don't feel like it takes, and like obviously you can add depth to it, you can add real like emotions to it, but just the like what is happening to the character, the simple thing that's happening, don't think it needs to be that dramatic to. And also like and I liked how this one, like, you kind of can't tell that it's pretty much like a lot of other teen romance movies where it's like it's very like trope heavy. Like, you know, obviously you have the fake dating, and then you have like Lara Jean, who's kind of like the loner girl with like the popular boy, which is like super common, but like it doesn't feel like every other teen movie. No, you know what I mean? Like, it actually feels like it has a little something to it. So yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page with that, because I think that's the only correct answer. Yes, literally, I can't think of anything else. So, sorry.
All right. Well, on that same note, I guess we can move to the category that's kind of, I don't know how to describe this, but I think the next category we can go with is best children/family movie, romance movie. Best children/family movie, romance movie. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Which is basically like romance movie that is marketed or meant for kids/family.
Yeah.
Essentially family, Disney movies is what I was trying to say.
Things like that. Oh, is that where you were? Oh, okay. I have one. I didn't want to say just
Disney movies because obviously there's other ones, but like,
yes,
I feel like we're both also gonna have the same answer for this one, but you go ahead.
Oh, you think so? I think our same answer. I'll be surprised. Our same answer is the honorable mention. I think. That's because I didn't know, because I was like, maybe this, because that would be my first go-to.
Okay, yeah. But say which one it is then.
Honestly, actually, let's say we can pick the one that we have, and then I'll put my honorable mention as the other one because it's okay. Because I think.
Yeah. You say your answer first, and then we'll see what it is.
Okay. So obviously, I hope we're on the same page. This would be hilarious if we're not. I've talked about how I think this is one of the most romantic movies of all time. We're on the same page. So Tangled. Yes. Okay. Guys, that's what I said. I don't know. I learned what love was again. Yeah. In 2010. Yeah. Okay. When they released this movie, I saw it in theaters in 3D. You were there too. Right?
No, I didn't see it in theaters. The first time I watched it was at summer camp. But anyways, continue.
I'm so sorry. I really thought you were there, but it's okay. You were there in spirit. Yeah. And I watched it in theaters, 3D. Best experience I've seen in my life. There was lanterns around me, and I was like, "Oh, I see the light too."
Like it's genuinely like, not even just children family movies. It's just like one of the best romance movies of all time, or like romantic movies of all time. Like, how do you watch that and not be like, "Oh,
you were my new dream"?
I literally have that quote written down, and I wrote exactly like that. I literally said, "You were my new dream." Are you kidding me? It's so funny.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And I just
like, they really honestly did that. They really just did that.
They really did that. And you know what's funny to me? They were like, for Disney, that's the one of the slowest burns they've ever had. Right? If you really think about it, this is closest thing. Yeah, right?
Sort of. Like, I was thinking like, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid. Those ones all
really? They all like. Oh, sorry. I guess slow burn to me is when they don't like each other right away, and then they're like into each other.
I'm just thinking about it now, and they did those ones. They did like each other.
No, because technically all of them would be slow burn because they don't kiss till the end. Every single one.
Yeah.
So
that's what you mean. Like in Aladdin liked Jasmine at first, and then
he thought you was hot.
Little Mermaid, she liked Eric at first. Okay, yeah, and I see what you mean. Mm-hmm. Where like they actually don't like each other until the end. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, and like the it builds slowly. They don't even like hate each other. They're just like,
it's kind of like forced. Like, I think it's called like forced proximity.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the trope. Where people have to like work together. Yeah, it's
beautiful.
Great. I love it. The lantern scene in general, like I See the Light, is probably one of the most like romantic movie scenes ever. In my opinion.
I want lanterns on my wedding.
Like where he was like that whole just that one screenshot where he's just like watching her as she's watching the lantern. Like, don't even talk to me. Like Tumblr in like 2012 was on top of that.
Over that.
Just all like,
I want someone to look at me
like that. Yeah, exactly.
We're not above this. We're not, because it's
point blank period.
Amazing.
I can't think of any other movie where it's that romantic.
No, most romantic family movie. I'll go for my honorable mention here.
What's your honorable mention?
Because I was trying to switch it up. Yeah, I don't know why I was trying to do something new. But this is good. Have you ever seen Flipped?
No, I haven't.
Oh no, Monica. Flipped.
I've
yeah.
never heard of it.
No. Oh my gosh, you gotta watch it. So wholesome.
Flipped
so cute
movie. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Flipped.
Oh, I have literally never seen this before.
Oh my! I'm not gonna spoil it because I really think you should watch it. It's about. This is like the most family like kid type of very innocent love.
Yeah.
This is like on some next because it's like they're like in the 6th grade or something. Like they're like 12.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Or maybe they're actually in the 9th grade. But what I love about it, one, they actually use children actors who look like how children would look like at that age. Like I wish I had seen this movie when I was in when I was young. Because I think it would have really been cool. And basically, this is not a spoiler. It's about Julie Baker. She has a huge crush on, I forget his name. Bryce. I think that's his name. Bryce Walker or whatever. Very, very white names. But whatever. It's good.
Basic name, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So she has a huge crush on him because she thinks he's cute. But then as it's very coming of age. Like as she gets to know like herself and like I guess boys, she realizes that like he's not as cool as she thinks he is. Like, you know how girls, especially, I can't speak for all girls, sorry. But a lot of young girls tend to be infatuated with boys. Like they're like, oh my gosh, he's cute. But like, you know nothing about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it really does that accurately versus him. He's like, yo, girls got cooties. Like, I don't want anything to do with girls. But as he matures, he's like, oh, like, she's actually like a really nice person. Right. And it's kind of like they're working in opposite ways. Basically, as women mature, they realize how men suck. As men mature, they realize how women are great. So, but it's a really cute movie. Absolutely adorable. And it's just it's good. I'm gonna make my kids watch it, so that's just how cute it is. That's for real.
Maybe I'll watch it soon then.
Yes. Okay.
This is like totally off topic. Back to our original tangent, but I just thought of another romance movie where it's an actual romance movie, but they don't end up together. Oh. I don't know why I just thought of one, but Call Me by Your Name. Yes. They don't end up together. I have issues with that movie, but we're not going to discuss that today. But
yeah, I think I've heard that less called as a romance. I've heard that as a.
Oh, I heard that as like I know it as like a romance movie.
I've heard as a drama, but you know what? I'm sure people do both. You know?
Yeah. Anyways, that's a conversation for a different day. Okay, next, I think we can go to most realistic romance movie.
Most realistic. Okay.
So essentially just a romance movie where it's like nothing crazy, where you literally just feel like it's a really real portrayal of like love or getting together or whatever.
Yes. So I had trouble with this one, y'all.
Oh, see, this one it just came to mind immediately.
Really?
Not okay, like I said, there might be other ones that I probably couldn't think of, but when I think of like something that's super realistic, I think of this movie.
Sure.
So the one that I picked was The F Word.
Oh,
I don't know if I just think it's realistic because it's set in Toronto, but
also on my list, but not there.
I just think because it just feels like really typical, like what would happen. Like there's something crazy that happens, like, you know, in most romance movies,
yes, I get what you're saying.
Out of the ordinary that happens that brings these people together. But this is literally just about a thing where a guy meets a girl and he likes her, and then he's like trying to get with her, and it's like not really going that well, and then it's literally because she has a boyfriend and etc. But I just think it's super realistic, and I like this movie.
I guess what you're saying. You know? Yes. No, that is a good one. I was not thinking I was thinking like realistic couple, which is still realistic couple dynamics, like things that would happen. But I agree with your thing. So I have two for this because I wasn't sure what way we're going. Yeah, so it's fine. We'll be good.
Go ahead.
So I actually picked Crazy Stupid Love for this one. I know what you're gonna think.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah, because the dynamic between Steve Carell's character, and Julianne Moore, right?
That is very realistic.
About like divorce and like, you know, how they basically neglected each other, but then they still, you know, I think that just their relationship is pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The way it goes. And I think it's realistic, especially because, you know, they got together really young, almost out of like forced circumstances.
They were struggling with like they've never been with anybody else, and like they kind of got tired of each other. That's really realistic.
So you could see where like they would lose, like they have no other experience but each other. So I can see how like the way their dynamic would work for sure. Yeah. So I felt like that makes really sense. Like realistic.
The whole, if you look at the entire movie, is it realistic? Probably not. I don't think that would ever happen to anybody, but I see what you mean with like the dynamics. Yeah, are very realistic.
Yes. But no, not the movie as a whole. My other one for most realistic, which again, I'm going to ask you guys to ignore the plot because the plot is not realistic. I put Set It Up. I said the way the couple, because he had a girlfriend and he wasn't interested in her right away. And I felt like that was really realistic of like, you're just like someone that I have to be like forced proximity to, again, same thing. Yeah. And like neither of them were interested in each other, and it really like organically grew. Like it's like, oh, like you're kind of cool. And like him having to, I feel like that's really realistic for men almost, like when they have like the stereotypically like hot, like what you should be with, quote unquote, type of girlfriend. And then she's the more like, less conventional. I don't know how to say this without sounding rude. It's not rude. She's beautiful too. Zoe Dutch is obviously gorgeous, but in like her way of being was less like what he thinks as an image conscious person.
Yeah.
Not exactly what he would be with, but then like it slowly grew and I was like, this is cute, and I liked the progression.
That makes sense.
So those were my picks for most realistic. But yeah. That was a good pick
All
too.
right. Yes. Okay. I think we can go to. Did you want to go to the trope specific one and then go to our personal favorite? Like I figured the personal favorite one is a good one for like right before the best overall.
True. Okay. We could go with the trope one first.
Yeah. So this one category, this category is essentially our favorite or what we think is the best movie within our favorite trope.
Mm-hmm.
So we each picked our favorite trope and then picked one or more movies that we think are the best within that trope. So
do it right. Yeah.
I think you can go first for that one. Yeah, I said F word first, so you go first.
Okay.
So what's your favorite trope to start out?
My favorite trope is haters to lovers.
Oh,
I think
that's mine too.
Oh yeah,
like
I think I had to
lovers,
make that clear because some people have different definitions. Because like enemies to lovers versus haters to lovers. I did some research.
And there's a difference?
It's not all the same. So haters to lovers is just when people don't like each other.
So yours is haters to lovers.
Yes.
Okay, mine is like enemies
to lovers.
Mine is enemies.
Yeah.
Where like they have something against each other. Yeah.
Exactly. Like they have, it might not even be like they actually hate each other. Like they could be attracted to each other, but because of circumstances, they're enemies.
That's mine. So I like enemies.
That's the difference.
Lovers.
Yes. Versus mine is like I like when they don't like each other when they first meet or whatever. They're just not
okay.
Into
So
each
yeah,
other.
there is a difference then.
Yes, there is a difference.
Okay.
So my movie, I think that does it. I don't know if it does it the best, but it's like one of my favorite ways of like where it goes that way.
Mm-hmm.
Is 27 Dresses. I really like their dynamic of like they're basically opposites too. You could take that.
They judge each other basically because they both don't agree with each other's
hard
lifestyles.
And she's like, I don't want to be around you. And he's more okay with it. I'm okay if it's one-sided hate. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Too. But basically, they don't want to be around each other. And I love how like he pushes her. Like he's like, you always do everything for everybody. You're like so giving. She's like, stay away from me. Gross.
Yeah.
I'm not selling this movie well.
No,
but
I think
I think that's like one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite couple dynamics in that way. And I think it's well done. And I like their conflicting like they don't just hate each other to hate each other because like I feel like
they have conflicting ideas on life and
yes
stuff, so.
Exactly. So if you have conflicting ideals and like both of them have to kind of change them, and I like that. So
makes sense.
That would be my choice.
Interesting.
What about you?
So yeah, mine is definitely like straight up enemies, like rivals. I think is the best word to also describe it. Like when I think of enemies to lovers, I think of like enemies. Like I guess you could fit the umbrella could like fit also like haters to lovers in terms of enemies.
Yeah, sometimes they overlap, but it's like
exactly. But I like straight up like where they hate each other for a reason. Like they hate each other because there's something keeping them apart, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I have two picks for this one. So the first one, no surprise to anyone, is The Princess Diaries 2.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna come up.
That is like one of my favorite movies ever. Because like they are quite literally enemies because he's trying to take her throne. So that's very enemy like. And like I just like how it's crazy because I don't think like enemies to lovers is not really something that happens in real life, to be honest.
No.
So like I just think it's great. Like I love watching it, I guess, because it's something like so out of this world, I guess, where it's like,
for sure,
you know, where people just like hate each other, they're like rivals, and then they like come to realize, like, you know how it goes.
Yeah, there's
like
very
you
few,
start warming up
like,
to them, and then blah 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 blah. But
sure.
Yeah, so this one is literally like he is trying to manipulate her to take her throne, and she's like, nuh-uh. And then she's like, wait, but he's actually so sweet though.
I love our reenactments of these couples. Like,
not
my crown.
Yeah, exactly. So that is one of my absolute favorite. Like, come on, because he's basically like the villain. Well, his uncle is a villain, but like he's part of it. That's why you know it's enemies to lovers, because he's the villain, right? So
yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies ever. We all know this. I've talked about this so many times on the podcast before. But I just love it. I love Chris Pine in this movie.
He's smoking.
Yeah, I've like literally had a huge crush on him since like the beginning of time.
I like older Chris Pine though. I don't know what that says about me. But
I think he's great at any age. Like he just looks good all the time.
No, I think I have a problem. I be like an old man sometimes. Like I'm like, what? This is,
you know what? We're adults now. We can.
But this is tangent. I don't want to talk about this. We don't need to explore that. You know.
And I have it's kind of like an honorable mention. I kind of just wanted to add this because I think it's also a good. It's different than Princess Diaries 2 because Princess Diaries 2 is very like you have the royal. It's not very real, but in a realisticer sense. That's not a word, but who cares?
Yeah.
Another good enemies to lovers I liked was Candy Jar.
Oh yeah.
Which is it's like a kind of romancy movie. I don't know if it's technically romance.
It's like light touch. They don't even like really.
Yeah, the romance
kind of
is
imply
very light.
it.
It's very like in the background, but it's basically about, if you don't know, I think we might have mentioned it once or twice, but it's a movie on Netflix about two rival students like at school. They're both kind of, they're not competing, which is funny because they're not competing to get into the same school, are they? Or they are?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're trying to both get into different schools, which is like, okay, but why do y'all hate each other then? Well, it's because they both are just like very driven and they both want to be the captain of their debate team, even though the debate team is literally just them two. So they're both
they just want to
to
like
be
they
better
have the
than
same resume basically, like the same application, so they want to be one up each other.
Yeah, they just keep trying to one up each other, and they're basically like academic rivals, which is like its own subgenre. That's a really big subgenre in like books. I know academic rivals. But I think that one's just cute. Like, it's cute because
it is.
It's not very heavy on the romance, but it's like they just kind of like come to realize that maybe they should work together and like they actually
and
care
their banter
about each other.
so cute.
Also, their moms are enemies too, which is really funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that one too in like a less fantastical sense than the Princess Diaries too.
I understand what you're saying.
But I also have honorable mention trope because technically I have two favorite tropes. But I just had to pick enemies to lovers because there's more examples of it.
Yes.
But my other favorite trope is fake dating, of course.
Dating,
like, if your two favorite tropes are not enemies to lovers or fake dating, then you're a psychopath, in my opinion. Like, people who are like, oh, my favorite one is friends to lovers. You're lame. You're boring.
Oh, my goodness. I wouldn't say fake dating is my favorite. Second favorite. I don't think.
I like fake dating because oftentimes it goes in hand in hand with, like, haters to lovers.
Yeah,
when they
it is a good trope.
Each other, like,
trust me, I'm not above anything. All the tropes.
Oh yeah,
except
like, I don't
for
hate
like
friends to lovers, those type of things. But like,
actually,
people who are just like, no, I hate enemies to lovers. I need friends to lovers. I'm like, where's the spice in your life?
Yeah,
you know
no. I wouldn't go that far. Don't be saying
I see
silly
people
things
all the time.
Because I never say I hate friends and then say I need haters. Like, I would never say that. I would just say I prefer one.
No, I've seen this discussion a lot of times online, and people are like, no, enemies to lovers sucks. Why do you guys want? And like, no, friends to lovers. But anyways, doesn't matter. Like, some people specifically really like childhood best friends to lovers. I don't like that one, but anyways, that's just me.
I can't think of examples that I'm like into where they do that.
I guess it's more like a book thing. It's easier to find stuff like that in books.
Oh, anyways, books, yeah.
So yeah, my other favorite trope is fake dating. So for that one, I also put like The Proposal. Obviously, that's a classic. And
yes.
To All the Wizard Love Before, also a classic. But
yes.
That's just like my other favorite trope. It's also kind of like forced proximity in a way, and it also sometimes incorporates haters to lovers. So that's why I think it's great.
I agree.
And it's also like enemies to lovers. It's also something that probably wouldn't happen in real life.
Yes,
but it's still fun. You know what I mean? It's fun,
right? Fake dating. I'm like,
yeah. Like, when am I ever gonna have to? Like, when am I ever gonna have to fake date someone? Like, I will not be in that situation.
Like, we have to. Or like, honestly, if fake dating ever happened, it would literally be for 2 seconds. Like, hey, babe. Exactly. Yeah, and then you get away from whatever situation you're in, and then you're like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Bye. So it's cool. That's about it. Okay, so
we love it.
Now to our second to last category. We have our personal favorite romance movie or personal favorite romantic couple, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, dynamic.
So just like your personal favorite pick for anything.
Yes.
Not the objective best overall, but like just one that, is just your favorite. Like, you just really like it. So.
Okay. Did you go first or did I? I don't remember.
I think you went first. Shoot. You said your haters to lovers.
I went first?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yes. So, right. So you go first.
So the one that I put for my personal favorite, this is just, in my opinion, like my personal favorite romantic movie.
Yeah.
not necessarily my favorite couple or anything, but I just liked the movie overall. So I picked Silver Linings Playbook because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie so much. And like, even though the director said it's not supposed to be a rom-com or like, but that's just because he was biased against rom-coms, so whatever.
Of course.
But I just really like this movie. I like how both of the characters are really like flawed and like they're not trying to like fix each other either, but they're like they realize like that's a bad word to say. I was gonna say they use each other, but they didn't use each other. They through their relationship with each other, they realized ways that they could change. It wasn't like, we try to fix, like, I need to fix you, or like they're both really flawed people. They both have issues, but then with their connection, they were able to realize that things get better. I guess I guess that's the best way to put it.
We're better together.
Yeah, like I guess like because the characters like Tiffany and Pat, so like Tiffany made Pat realize that he was just like hanging on to Nikki and whatever, and then like Pat made Tiffany realize that she was also hanging on to her dead husband, which is like but like that's what happened. And they're both, and even up until like almost the end of the movie, they were still like being flawed and like making mistakes. It's like it's just very real for me, and I just love that movie. It makes me really happy.
Yes, it is good. It's really good. It's up there. It's up there with the stars.
I watched it in theaters. Like it's just I've loved it since the moment I saw it.
You told me about it like the day the weekend after you and I was like, when I remember you telling me about this, and I was like, what? Like, how is this a romance movie? I remember
because it's like it's not what you would expect. Like it's very interesting concept for a romance movie. Just like two people who have very like bad mental health issues.
Yes.
But like also I like how it doesn't try to like romanticize that either. Like you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh no, like you're feeling depressed, like let me help you.
Right.
Like it doesn't try to romanticize that at all. Like they're both messy people.
They are so messy. And also it shows like the parental dynamics too.
Yeah, the family, like, how the family like comes into play, which I think needs to be more into like romance movies or just movies in general who have like the family very removed from the characters. I feel like it's very less like relatable, at least to me.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe especially to like I guess people from like different cultures, because in a lot of cultures like your family is very involved in your life, and like
always you might just live with, especially nowadays, y'all aren't living on your own. You're probably living with your parents.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so when I see like the family dynamics being involved in like the romance thing, I think it's very like realistic, and it makes sense how like he's with his family and like his whole relationship with his dad, and like you can see too where he might have gotten some of those tendencies, because his dad also had very similar tendencies.
I was like, the dad is
and then
dad, like, you don't see yourself here? I'm like,
exactly.
Sir.
So it makes a lot of sense. Like I just think this movie's really excellent. I think it deserved all the Oscars it was nominated for. So
A++.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I got 2. So because we had like different visions of what we thought this category was, so I quickly added something else. So as my favorite couple, one of my favorite couple dynamics, I don't know if it was my favorite because it's really hard to like, I feel like TV couples are just, no offense, better because they just have way more time to develop, obviously. And I love the slowest of the slowest burns, so they can do it way better than anybody else can. But I was going to say the F word. I thought they had a really good couple dynamic because I thought they were like, I guess, in a sense, realistic. I thought like they actually had stuff in common. Like I could see them being a good couple. Like I wasn't like there's almost nothing about them that I was like, this wouldn't be good for you guys as a couple. It was actually like, yeah, you guys would, aside from her having a boyfriend, it's like you guys would be good together. But I'm gonna go with like one of my personal favorite romance movies / one of my favorite couple dynamics. I think this encompasses it better than the F word. Would be Friends with Benefits. I think
I do like them as a couple, actually.
Yes, I think Jamie and Dylan are just on a whole other level. Yeah, and I like how they're both like, they both have their walls up a lot. Like there's a lot of things that they're dealing with that they don't want to talk about, but they end up being able to do that for each other. And I feel like movie. Yeah, and I feel like the third act twist wasn't crusty. It actually made sense to like how he would act if he felt like constrained and stuff. So I thought that was really well done. So
no, I did like that movie. That was a good movie.
Yes.
I watched that so many times. All right.
I have to.
So I guess we can just head to our major
best
category, which is what we think is the best romantic movie / best romance movie of all time.
Of all
and I'm gonna be super honest with you, this was really easy for me.
Oh, really?
I already knew before everything what this answer was.
I think you're gonna be surprised by mine because this is not what I expected to say.
Interesting. Okay, you can go first.
But I just thought, I was thinking, when I think best romance movie, I'm like, what encompasses the romance category? You know, what is romance? You know, when I think,
we're getting philosophical.
Yes, when I think of like, you know, like at a menu, if I go to a very good restaurant and they serve me romance, like this is what I'm thinking of, you know? And it's not about it's like, it's art. That's what I'm trying to say. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, this is romance. So my pick is Titanic.
Ah, I see. That is another one where one of them dies, which is very interesting.
Yes, I'm so sorry. So sorry to this man. In my head, they go to heaven together because that's how the movie ends. So they're on the ship. So whatever. I think that was romance. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it really encompasses what romance kind of is.
Yeah, it's
like a romance movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it is epic romance. Not only them, I think about the old couple who was holding each other while the water was coming through.
Oh my God.
It's just sad.
That movie will go down in like history for sure.
It will. So I just feel like it has to, like, on any list that they ever list ever on, like, oh, if they're like, oh, romance movie, like Titanic has to be on the list.
Yeah,
so I just feel for me, it is the best overall romance movie. And I think it's good because a lot of people who don't even like romance like Titanic.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, no, that's a good movie. That's it. So I'm giving them their flowers. And that's why I got kind of pissed. I'm gonna go on a tangent when people are like, "Oh, La La Land got as many nominations as Titanic." Don't touch me. That doesn't make any sense.
No, didn't deserve.
Are you trying to tell me this is
on the same level as Titanic?
And I think they were like saying that it was gonna get more if it had won instead of Moonlight. It would have gotten more than Titanic.
Yeah, no, I'm glad Moonlight won. Moonlight deserved it anyways, disgusted. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, if you're looking at like overall, like all time, like objectively, yeah, I like Titanic is definitely
that's what I'm saying
up there. So I totally get that. So the one I picked is a bit more modern.
Oh, really?
But I think is gonna be, well, it already is kind of already a classic, but I think it's gonna be like a classic going forward in terms of romance movies.
Interesting.
Because it kind of also has that same amount of like, not the same. Ship sinking is very epic, but it kind of has that similar feel of like an epic storyline surrounding a romance where just a lot of stuff happens, and I think it has a lot of cultural significance too, and I think that's why also it's gonna be a classic. And it just has a good amount of like cheesiness that you like in a romance, and like a little bit of like tropes that you see in a romance. But I think I know what you're talking about,
but I'm not actually no.
But it's but overall, I think all similarly to Titanic. I know a lot of people who don't really like romance, but really like this movie because it's just like a good movie. So I picked Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna say, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a classic. Like, I feel like every day I go, or like every week I go onto Twitter and someone's like, you know what was a good movie? Crazy Rich Asians, and everyone's like, yeah, like that movie is so good.
Really? Like, I see the opposite.
Really?
I see people going like, it was just okay. Like,
yes, I always see people just like talking about it.
Really,
like,
we're on a different side of Twitter
so
or whatever.
Yeah.
The internet. Yeah.
But I just think like, I mean, obviously, is it a perfect movie? No, obviously, there's things that you can improve. But I think overall, like, just everything like surrounding it, I think, it just makes it a really great romance movie where it's like, this couple who like you don't really see that often. A couple that's like already together. But it still feels like a great, like you're rooting for them. It still feels like their relationship has like an arc to it, you know what I mean? So and it includes family, which like I just said is always important to me because I feel like it's very realistic where your family's involved in your romance life like that.
And I do like a proposal. I like those things.
Love a proposal. That is the best. It's so cute. The wedding scene is iconic.
When the water
like
comes from the river.
And it's very grand. It's very epic because
oh my gosh,
they're rich. Like it just has a good mix of everything, and it has side. It's a big enough movie that you can have side couples and side characters too, which I think is always good, because a lot of movies, like especially rom-coms, like we talked about this a little bit before, where it's like rom-coms usually don't have a very high budget, but because this is a very high budget movie and you can have all these things, you can have this big ensemble cast, it's not just focusing on their relationship together, it's about like the bigger picture of like this family and the dynamics surrounding that, and also the cultural dynamics surrounding that. So I think it's definitely going to be a classic in the future. And I just love
my
that movie.
only qualm with the movie, my only qualm, which would honestly, if it had that, it would have been like perfect for me. I needed a couple flashback scenes of the couple.
That's true. It was honestly, very like in the moment. There was not any flashbacks. Because homegirl told me that she's like, I pay for your Netflix account, and I was like, he really let you do that when he's got billions of dollars in his pocket? So I needed to see like how they met. Even just that, I honestly feel like that would have been good for me. Maybe but because there was already so much going on in the story.
There was a lot going on. I understand. I understand like why they didn't, but I also was like, I needed to meet them as a couple, like outside sooner. Of that makes sense. Outside of their like parents and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
But the rest of the story, amazing. Really
like I said, like I don't think it's like a perfect movie objectively, but I think if you want to encompass what romance movies are, and like it's a step above the rest, like you can't deny like,
and obviously like box office wise, just that it did make history.
It did really great at the box office, because people obviously really liked this movie, and like it kind of set off like a desire for more movies that showed like culturally diverse people, because a lot of movies,
I
like
hope
the
they're
ones
not
we
slowing
mentioned,
down, eh?
a lot of the movies we mentioned are like white straight movies. So I'm hoping that we get more like different stories and stuff like that, right?
So for sure. And I'm giving COVID as an excuse, but I'm expecting more. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually kind of pissed because that made the momentum. So I'm hoping there's like stuff in the pipeline that's coming. Because
there's two sequels to that movie coming, but I don't really like sequels that much.
No, not that. I mean, like in terms of the romance movie, rom-com pipeline.
Like I definitely need more diverse romance.
Yes.
Movies. 100%.
Because we had To All the Boys, we had Crazy. They came in the same year. Set it up too, same year. So it's like
like I also need.
What's next?
I need good also like LGBTQ movies.
True.
Because
Love
there's not
Simon,
a lot of them. Love Simon was cute, but also it's kind of like.
But the romance wasn't at least to me.
Yeah.
It was more about him.
Also, his
coming to terms with.
I liked it. It was a cute movie, but I just can't get over the fact that his friends were mad at him.
Oh, I know you get pissed about
coming
that.
Out like that. Just pissed me off so much.
No, that was really.
And I feel like they could do way better.
They could, but I felt bad. I mean, like in terms of the couple itself, we didn't see them.
No, like that's what I'm saying. Like it was more of like a teen movie, also. But I need. That's what I'm saying. I need more diverse stories in the future, because it's like there's not that many, and it's hard to find.
Isn't. And also, like to be fair, I do have to hold myself accountable, because there are a few.
Oh yeah, I should probably. I
usually don't
harder.
Watch them. Like Carol. I know that came out, and I didn't watch that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even touch it. So. Either. I do have to be held accountable, because there are things, or like what's that
I feel like
one
I need to look harder.
With what's her freaking name, Kristen Stewart? The Worst Holiday or something.
I did not.
It's like Kristen Stewart. She's like she plays I think she is, sorry, but whatever. She's a lesbian in the movie. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
With another, I don't remember the other actresses,
and
she brings her home to meet her parents, but she's not out with her parents. Like she's not out to her parents.
Yeah, no, I never.
So she asked her to play her friend and stuff. So
I know there was also the half of it, but I didn't really like the half of it. So
see,
like I don't think it was good. That's the problem. Like I feel like I need
that
more,
is my
mainstream.
problem.
Like it just sucks, because the ones that are coming out, like the LGBTQ movies that are being made, are like they're not getting made by big studios or anything, so they don't get as much attention, and that sucks, because I feel like
for sure. Or they're like I'm not gonna lie, they're deep, and I'm not that girl.
That's what I'm saying. That thing with Carol, that set, like I need something lighthearted. Like why are we not getting good like lighthearted rom-coms and whatever with like more people of color, more LGBTQ people? Like I just need that.
I think I don't know. Maybe I'm being hopeful, but I think it's coming, because I think
hope it's coming. Yeah.
If we think about it, like Obama legalized gay marriage, like what, what is it, 12 years ago? Yeah. So
12 years ago? That was like 5 years ago.
Did I just mess that up? Oh, did he not do it at the... I don't know why I was like, oh, he did it at the beginning of his term. Because I was thinking, like, he did 8 years and then Trump
he
did
didn't
4,
do
so
it till, like, 2015, I think, or 16. Yeah. I don't really remember.
Okay, I'm so sorry. But basically, it hasn't been a decade. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah, I know. I just, like,
so,
I feel like
it hasn't...
late,
no, I'm just saying, like,
coming, yeah.
for people to be more used to, like, growing up with people who have, like, been together and then, like, grow up to... I'm just saying things like that. Obviously, we need to do better. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think the pipeline is slow. We all know that. Yeah. It's very slow. Like, the fact that we've been talking about diversity since, like, the beginning of time, and then we just got to All the Boys in 2018. Like, I'm just saying that, like, I do think it's in the pipeline. I do think... I literally think... this is what I honestly think. I just think that people who are gay or who are in the LGBTQ plus community... are kind of, and it's just the reality of things, kind of gonna have to muscle it on their shoulders. Like, a lot of the times things like that happen in books first, and like, everyone pioneers the book, everyone's in love with it. That's what happened to All the Boys. Like, it was a huge bestseller, it was crazy, and Jenny Han is Asian herself, so she's like writing about a girl that is like her. So I could see how people in the LGBTQ plus community could be writing things about themselves. And I'm not saying they don't, but, you know, more people would be writing more, and hence we would get more, like, lighthearted things about maybe I hope that there are a lot of people who actually do have more of a lighthearted life, you know? Like, that's what we would want, obviously, for everybody. Yeah. So I think that stuff will come to, even, like, totally messed that up. Red, White, and Royal Blue, for example, right? That is one of the first super chill gay rom-coms books to go, like, bestseller. Yeah, that's just a fact, right? So that's just one, though, and you're gonna kind of, it sucks, but you're gonna kind of need, like, maybe 2 or 3 more of those, which, like, I hate that that's, like, a thing, but I'm just
and the problem too, though, there's a lot of books now, instead of, because people don't like anymore, like, book to movie adaptations. Like, people have been begging for books to be adapted into series now, so I feel like we're gonna be getting a lot more series.
Series adaptations,
because a lot of books now are being made into series, rather, because people realize that the movies, like, you can never fit everything in there and people don't like it. Like, I already know a lot of movies that are really popular right now are being turned into series rather than movies.
That makes sense,
because I know
that actually makes sense, because Dash and Lily did that.
Yeah, there's a popular book that has, like, a lesbian relationship in it that's, like, super popular. It's called The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that's being turned into a series and not a movie.
Interesting.
But I do think it could have been a good movie. Like, that's kind of where I'm just like, like, you could have had a good movie with that, but they're turning into a series.
That too, yeah. But, like, you just need more people pumping stuff out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not, obviously, that's not the only solution. We obviously need to ask, but I think that's also a way, because honestly, my biggest thing is, like, Hollywood always claims they're about numbers, right? So if you make the numbers happen and then they're still not doing it, that's when you can really go in and be like, you're just racist, homophobic, whatever you want to talk about. Yeah. But if you don't have the numbers, then they can always fall back on, sorry, like, people just don't want to watch you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's why, like, for example, Black Panther, people showed up in, like, droves. So it's like, now, shut up. You're going to make Shang-Chi and, like, that other Muslim American they're gonna do that one too. Like, I literally think it's because Black Panther, like, was so successful, so they're like,
but the thing is, they had to go with Black Panther first. Like, if they kept with
for sure ideal, which is like
Black Panther. So, like, I just wish people would take risks more, like, not even just with LGBTQ romances, but, like, diverse ones in general, you know?
Sure 100%.
So yeah,
where is my Black version of To All the Boys I'm Looking For? Exactly. I've always said that.
Exactly. I did watch one the other day that just got onto Netflix. The Sun Is Also a Star, with, like, Yara Shahidi and Charles Melton. That, yeah. It was cute. It wasn't the best movie I've ever watched, but,
it's
like,
not a rom-com to me, though. That's a
it's a drama. It's a drama. But, like, if we're talking romance movies, but
we are. It
was all right. Like, yes. I need more. That's what I just need. I just need more options to pick from. You know.
Yes. I want to have fun. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, where's my joy? Where's my POC joy? Exactly. My LGBTQ plus joy. I need it. I want it. So.
But yeah, so I also wanted to give a special shout out to a few things that aren't romance movies, but I think need to be mentioned, and that it's romance K-dramas. I just need to talk about this for like 2 seconds.
Oh my god!
Because more people need to if you like
K-drama movies or K-drama shows?
Series. Well, K-dramas in general are usually only one season and like between 10 and like 20 episodes. So it's kind of just like a long movie.
I've watched 2 like K-drama movies. They ended up turning them into series, so I watched both.
Oh, interesting. I Korean movies I've watched were like not romance. I've never watched a Korean romance movie because usually the romances are in like the series. But like I said, a lot of them are just like one season and like maybe like 16 episodes. That's typically what it is. So it's like watching like a long movie. But I need to mention that because if you like romance movies or like rom-coms, you should be watching some K-dramas because there are some good ones out there.
Do it.
So yeah, I wanted to just mention like I really like Crash Landing on You. I think it's a classic.
Netflix, get it there.
Wait,
do it now.
Wait, what?
I said it's on Netflix. Do it now.
Do it now. Go watch it on Netflix. Yeah. It's amazing. That one I really liked. There's another one that I watched that's not on Netflix. It's on like a specific app that just has K-dramas on it. But
is it Drama Fever?
No. That's like I think that's like a legal streaming site.
Okay.
I mean, like there's an app called like Viki that's like just K-dramas. Like it's a real like subscription.
No,
service.
Drama Fever is not illegal. They only show you like a couple and then they don't. Yeah. Okay, depends what shows you're
like
watching.
Crunchyroll, I guess. But yeah, anyways. There's one that I watched on there called Her Private Life that I really, really liked. Just like a quick blurb. It's literally about this girl. It's kind of weird. Like the premise is about this girl who's like a really big fan of this like singer, and she's like a huge fan of the singer, and she runs like a fan website for the singer. But it's not really about that. It's actually about the fact that she works at like a museum, and then her new boss is like this like dude, this like former artist dude, and like they have to fake date because people start a rumor that she's dating the celebrity.
Interesting.
Dude. But it's really, really good. If you can find it online, I'm sure it's on one of those like websites, but you should watch that one. I really like that one.
Okay, I have to mention some now too. You cannot leave me hanging with the K-dramas. Whoo! My K-drama love starts all the way in grade 10. Thank you.
Oh, mine did too.
Yes.
Grade 9 actually. But
this is a classic. I don't even think like most people have watched it, or most people who started around that time started with Goblin. So I feel like that's a really obvious one.
Goblin is a huge, big classic one. I've never watched it, but I know of it, obviously.
Cry. I literally have the poetry from the show on my wall at this moment. Okay, so don't even talk to me about that one. Another one. This one's more fun. I think like if you're looking for something lighthearted, is My Sassy Princess. That's the one that's like a series and also there's a movie about it. But
never heard of that one.
It's like a period piece. It's very interesting.
They love their period pieces and K-dramas.
Of like Korean like
it's like royalty. Like the dynasty people,
Yes.
They have a lot of drama set in that period.
Yes, I love it. And like it's very the yearning. Oh my gosh. There's literally
it's not a spoiler. Are interesting because the dynamics are so different than like American movies.
Different. It's not a spoiler, but basically he has to be a translator for the prince that is trying to get her. But he's like in love with her.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh. It's on Netflix.
Do it. My Sassy Princess?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
My Sassy Princess.
I'll look it up. There's actually one on Netflix that's airing right now. There's only 2 episodes out right now. That I'm like already obsessed with. It's called Nevertheless. It's like it's a romance. It's not a rom-com. It's like romance, but it's like super realistic. Like it's about like college students. Like it's set in college, and it's like this like super like fuck boy dude. Like he's like all flirty or whatever, and like this kind of like super shy girl. But like it's not like cheesy in that way. Like and I don't. It's only 2 episodes, so I don't really know what's gonna happen.
Okay,
but it's really good so far. I really like it.
That's cool. I'm probably gonna wait.
That's what I'm saying. I think
K-dramas.
You should start watching some K-dramas.
K-dramas will ruin you, but also make you feel so good. I'm in love with the water god or whatever. I'm really butchering that name, but that one's good too. So
there you go, guys. There are some options. But anyways, we should probably end this episode now before we start going on another tangent. But thank you so much for listening. You know, we're romance movie fiends clearly, so we will always advocate for the genre.
Of course.
And
of course.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week for another maybe roasting movies by the fire. Possibly?
I think so. Yes, we're supposed to be doing a specific musical.
Yep.
That's been in the news lately.
Oh, it's been in the news. We'll have a lot to discuss there, actually.
Yes, we shall.
Okay. So catch you guys next time. Remember to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the podcast. You know the drill by now.
Yes. Rate us 5 stars. Do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
That too. Oh, Instagram. I didn't even say what our Instagram is. Flick Chicks Pod.
Yes.
There you go. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Bye.